And the next voice you hear after this little bit of music will be that of SOTU. Thank you, Josh. Here we go.
The realization hasn't really gotten to people that your reality has already shifted. The change has happened, and it's now time for you to all wake up and see what actually has changed and be able to respond to that.
Right. That there's almost all the social systems we have out there are going to be up for change now. How we do
certainly
things.
so. You know, the question ultimately is, do you allow yourself to be controlled?
Right.
Do you just allow yourself to be quietly compliant and not raise any protests or anything like that? And then what are you going to do? You're going to allow a small percentage of rebels that believe in patriotism and believe in the country to carry the fight for you? You know, is it going to get like that and everything else is going to get dysfunctional? Are you going to allow your reality to turn into kind of a Hunger Games kind of situation?
Well, those potentials are out there. And it's
more than that, you're beginning to hear the dynamics come from you, from the consensus, through your corporate leaders, through your political leaders, through your medical leaders. You're beginning to hear this dynamic of, oh no, we need to control you. You have to have a certificate of authenticity. You must have a certificate of health in order to ride the subway. You must have it in order to get on a bus. You must have, you realize, you see how much they are seeking to reduce the dynamics of your freedom?
Right. So it is that question of how much are we going to allow? And
the push, they've just begun to push in that direction. They had to get over the fear part. Okay, so we have the fear. Okay, first the problem. Okay, they've got you in fear, and that's the reaction.
Right.
Right, and they're gonna let it get as bad as they think it can get before you rebel, and then they're going to offer the solution.
And that solution is going to be geared towards controlling us.
Oh, it's going to be much more towards controlling you.
So it's a question of how much do we believe in ourselves and believe in...
How much do you allow? How much, again, it said, do you create your reality or do you allow it? Do you stand up for the foundation of what the United States of America has stood for? Or is that all bullshit?
That's being a spiritual term.
Yeah, well, but it's true.
And I did...
You know, there's so many in your world that don't believe it. There's so many in your country that don't believe in it.
Don't believe in the
Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. You know, greed and control is much preferable to freedom and liberty.
Well, with freedom...
For others. Well...
No, I can understand the impulse. There is certainly in the times and places in my life that I've tried to control myself or other people, it's based on fear. And being able to counter that and look at whether or not something's really threatened is important, and whether or not I still wish to behave in those ways, or whether I wish to have respect for individuals and myself. So we each will have our own version of this in our personal lives.
Yeah, and you know, you're not going to, those of you that are spiritual and wondering if you're going to be spiritual enough, it's going to come looking for you. You're not going to have to go looking for it. Everybody in their own way is going to come up with against their own blockages, against their own dynamics of, are you sure? Are you sure? Because you're all being asked to identify yourselves. Who are you going to be?